Good afternoon, students. How are you doing today?
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
All right, so welcome to FCM 3. There are some housekeeping matters that we need to consider. Um, uh, what I'll be doing with you today is I won't be with you for the duration of the class session today, as I had a um, commitment, but importantly is for me to meet with you to get some of the housekeeping matters out of the way. So you would have recognized that I posted the curriculum in the chat. I had posted one earlier and deleted it because that was the incorrect one. So if you were quick with your fingers and downloaded that one, please disregard that one. That outline has 2 units. The new outline has 4 units. So I'm going to ask that you revert to the new one, the new posting that I just made, please. Very important. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this one is it. So I'm sharing my screen. One, just check 2, 3, and 4. Right. So this is a new outline. So we're just going to be, talking about the outline, what is expected of you, um, the duration of the course, the day we're meeting, etc., etc. I'm Mr. Shand, and I'll be your course facilitator for this semester, a very short semester. And as a result of that, I'm going to ask that you always try to be ahead of me in what it is that we're doing, because by the time you quit, the goodly summer semester is over and you are going to be doing your exams. So I'm going to be asking you to be very committed in attending your classes, be very committed in covering your workload. The responsibility really is on you, the students, to do the work. In a tertiary setting, the lecturer is really required to provide you with 20%, and the other 80% should come from you. Chances are it will be in the reverse, that I'll be giving you 100%, and I'm just going to ask you to give me about 80% of your attention. If I can get that from you, I sure you can get 80% and above on the exam. Since last summer, I am not part of a WhatsApp group. I opted not to go back into WhatsApp groups with my students, because some students can be very rude. So I am not in a WhatsApp group. I've not been in a WhatsApp group since last summer, and I don't intend to get into one. I will, however, recommend that you form a WhatsApp group. The reason being, information that is shared with the class via email can quickly be shared to members of the WhatsApp group. If you choose not to go into a WhatsApp group, that's fine. What I will, however, do is, in order to have contact with you, is to create an email class group for Foundation Concepts 3. When I say I will create an email for Foundation 3, it's not me that is going to create it. I'll ask a volunteer in the class to go ahead and just create an email listing. Some things I no longer do. I don't set up WhatsApp group anymore. I don't set up email groupings anymore. I think my students should have a part to play in the day-to-day operation of the class. So putting that out there, so whoever needs to volunteer, you can maybe put it in the chat, and you can volunteer to create that WhatsApp group or email. I'll prefer the email because, as I said before, I'm not in WhatsApp. I don't join the WhatsApp with students anymore. With that said, I recognize when I came on first, there were quite a number of students who joined the class, and people just came on and just sat in the class. And I guess you'd have recognized that I was the teacher of the class. And whether or not I'm the teacher, nobody said good evening to your classmates or to your teacher. Now, going forward, that's not the culture that we will create in our class setting. When we get here, if you log on and you see one person, it doesn't have to be the teacher. It doesn't have to be the teacher. Once you log on to the class and you see someone in the class, the netiquette that we'll be using is to say, good afternoon. One person said it. I'm trying to remember the name of the person who said it. And then when I said good afternoon, two students answered and a few students placed it in the chat. All right. It's very important that we follow the etiquette. It only goes for good class etiquette. Your class attendance is very important. If you don't attend my class, you can't do the exam. And I need a minimum 85% class attendance, as is outlined in your student handbook. The syllabus is not very long, even though we have 4 outlines. It's really not long. I think it's a fun course. I really enjoy teaching it. It's a fun course, and I'm going to be encouraging you all to pay much attention to it. All right, so I got a call from Students Affairs this morning, and I would just like to deal with that up front. Now, the prerequisite for pre-calculus are Foundation 1, Foundation 2, and Foundation 3. So if you look at the outline, it says students pursuing courses in pre-calculus, calculus, applied sciences, and engineering mathematics will appreciate the concepts and competencies developed from completing this course. This course builds on the foundation developed successfully completing FCM 1 and 2. So in order for you to move on to pre-calculus, you must pass Foundation 1, Foundation 2, Foundation 3. So we understand within the math department the challenges that some students are facing or have faced. Some of you failed FCM 1, some of you failed FCM 2, and you are now here at FCM 3. Sir, am I allowed to do FCM 3? Yes, you can. I will not ask you to leave the class. We still can do FCM 3. I've had students last summer who failed 1 and 2 and were able to pass 3 with me. As a matter of fact, one student in particular that I'm thinking of ended up doing FCM 1 in first semester of this academic year and got an A for FCM 1, and did FCM 2 just now and got an A, right? So it can happen. Now, here the trick to it. You must have 1, 2, 3 in order for you, or CSET math, in order for you to move on to pre-calculus. Within the math department, we understand how the SWEPs, and that some students, passed 1 and failed 2, and now trying foundation 3. We try not to keep students back. So we will consider giving you a prerequisite override once it is that you passed any combination of 2 of the foundational courses. So if you failed 1, but passed 2 and 3, we will consider giving you a prerequisite override. If you passed 1, failed 2, but passed 3, we will consider giving you a prerequisite override. If you pass 1 and 2, we will consider giving you a prerequisite override. Matter of fact, I will even go further. If you pass 1 and 2, I would say to you, also attempt pre-calculus in the summer. So if you've already passed Foundation 1 and passed Foundation Concept 2, I would ask that you attempt pre-calculus in the summer semester. So you would carry pre-calculus and Foundation Concept 3. Your department may say to you that you are at your maximum and you can't carry the pre-calculus. But if you can, I would encourage you to. Why? Because you've taken pre-calculus and you pass the Foundation Concept 3, come next school year, you can move straight into business calculus. For those students who aren't allowed to do pre-calculus in the summer, providing that you pass the Foundation Concept 3 and at least one other of Foundation 1 or 2, you will do pre-calculus in the first semester, and then you will be allowed to do foundation pre-calculus in the second semester. The challenge with that is if you fail pre-calculus in the second semester, you run the risk of having to spend an extra semester or depend on pre-calculus and business calculus in the summer semester. The summer semester is a short semester, and business calculus and business statistics are now 75 hours long. So it's too long a course to be completed really in the summer semester. Okay. Students, you must, am I clear by the way with what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
Nice. Students, you must go ahead, like now, today may not be a teaching day, but you must go ahead like now to select, while I'm speaking, your Foundation Concept 3. You must like now go ahead and select your Foundation Concept 3. If you have not selected the Foundation Concept 3, I will have to drop you from the class. You must select Foundation Concept 3. Matter of fact, let me scrap that. You must select your summer courses now at the end of this week, like today now, all of your summer courses. Because come next week, you may have a challenge getting in. Go ahead, please, Alfred.
Yes, sir. Good evening again.
Good
As
evening, my love.
the selection of course, like you were saying. All right, for me, sir, I did FCM 1. I passed that. I just finished FCM 2. So I'm having a clash between pre-cal and also one of my other course, Caribbean Studies. All right, so based on the fact that I need pre-cal as a prerequisite for business and business stats, I had dropped Caribbean Studies to take on pre-cal for this summer. What I'm not sure about, sir, is the fact that we're not seeing the grades for FCM2 as yet. So I'm not sure if I passed that as yet. I did get the override though for pre-cal, but I'm still a bit concerned because I'm not sure where we're at, and I already dropped the course for Caribbean Studies. I was
Okay.
trying to figure out if the fact that we got the override mean that we're in the clear, but I'm not really sure.
And that's why you're a bright girl, because I was about to tell you the mere fact that you got the override. So we have the grades. So up to last year, I was the head of the math department. Now Mrs. Hall Francis is the head of the department. I have moved on to become the dean of the Faculty of Applied Applied Sciences. So Mrs. Hall Francis, the math department falls under my jurisdiction. And moments before the start of this class, I had a conversation with her as it relates to the posting of those Foundation Concept 2 grades. Now, the grades, we have received the grade sheets, but we are perusing those grades. So I will say to you, Mrs. Hall Francis is responsible for the overrides. Now, the mere fact that you've gotten the override would suggest that she checked the grade sheet to see that you are clear with Foundation 1 and Foundation Concept 2. So you are good for now. You're gone, Alvary, you're good for now. And those of you who would have gotten the override for it would have been good. If you selected pre-calculus and have not yet gotten the override for pre-calculus, it means that your situation is iffy. So I was copied to an email at about 3 something today to have a meeting to look at the Foundation Concept 2 performance. It was, for want of a better word, awful. So we are deliberating over the grades. So we're going to be having a meeting. We were having a meeting. I'll be a part of the meeting, but Mrs. Hall Francis will be conducting that meeting. So there's going to be a conversation about those. So bear on with us. The grades, we have received the grades from the lecturers, but because of that issue, the poor performance of the students for Foundation Concept 2, we need to have a conversation first before we release the grades and then withdraw those grades. It may have implications. So we thought it best not to release those grades yet. So apologies for that.
Okay, so okay.
No problem, love. Tiana, go ahead, please.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
About the mid-semesters, would they be online or face-to-face?
All right. Good question. I was actually going there, but since you got there before me, let us talk about it. I may very well do the mid-semester online. I'm going to tell you why. It is summer. I know people may be up and down. Some people may go on a country, go on a foreign, whatever the situation is. But one of the things that I'll say to you, I will do a canvas later on in the semester. It's kind of early days now to talk about the mid-semester. But I'll do a canvas a little later on in the semester to see those students who are here. And if I were to call a face-to-face mid-semester, those students who are away will have to get their mid-semester proctored. And I won't go into proctoring. I will ask you to check your handbook about proctoring or touch base with Assessment Services Unit, right? So that you can get the proctor form and you can submit the information, the credentials of their proctor, and then the institution now will be in contact with that proctor to have the mid-semester done up. I'm going to tell you why. I recognize that students are a little disingenuous. There are multiple online solvers. I taught 5 courses in the summer. 3 of my courses have been approved and released to the students. One of the courses I only finished today, and there's another course that I finished marking exam paper for quite a while. But I'm just having a challenge posting those grades because I gave a face-to-face mid-semester. It was poorly done. When I say poorly done, it was poorly done. The students asked for a retake of the mid-semester, and I said, okay, fine, I'll agree with that. And I gave a retake of the mid-semester, and students are getting 80s and 90s and wonderful grades. And I love when students get those grades. But it's because I wasn't at the back of the class. I know that those students never did those work on their own, because when I look back now at their exam grades, there are some students who, there's one student for a course who did an exam for me, a face-to-face exam for me, and got like 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 20. Then for the second test, the student did pretty well and got 14 out of 20. On the exam, the student got 21%. And the students begged me and said, "Sir, please, can we have a makeup?" And I said, "Guys, you're putting me out of my way. It takes time to mark those papers with many of you. And incidentally, I'm seeing 34 of you, and I'm expecting more students to join. We won't have any makeup mid-semester because 34 scripts is not easy to mark." And that student got 100% on the makeup mid-semester, 100%. And I smiled to myself because I know the student didn't do it. But guess what? Even after I added the 100% to the student coursework with the 14 out of 20 for the other piece, the student got like about 80, almost 90% for the coursework piece, but still failed the course. Still failed the course. So that won't happen for Foundation Concepts 3, I promise you, because I will run your paper through my software, and if students are found to be cheating that way, we'll be given 0 for the paper. No questions asked, will be given 0. So it's just a concern that I have with students. Trust me, your teachers are smart. You may be brighter than your teachers because we teach to become brighter than us, but we are smart. Tashiro?
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, you're saying that based on the grades for FCM2, majority of the students actually did perform poorly based on the fact that the grades are not being published. But what's the timeline for us to actually get to see our grades? Because I could probably be doing Caribbean studies at this time because I haven't received my override as of yet. So I want to know what can I do because it's costing me money. Because from once you register for the course, you have to pay for it. So I need to know where I stand financially. So even if we did poorly, I need to know what I did so I can move on. It does really make sense that I'm being string along. So I need to just move on and try again.
All right. What's the name of that student? It's not Avril. Oh goodness. Who was the one who first asked the question? Oh Lord, I don't know the name just yet. Hold on one minute,
Me,
please.
sir, Alvery.
Avery. Can you explain to Tashira what I just said, please?
All right. So basically to the question about the override, he said that some person they have all the grades, firstly. Some persons would have gotten the override based on the fact that they would be clear, they would have a clear path. They're still going through. So that's the reason why some persons haven't received it as yet. Am I correct, sir?
Thank you, my love. So what I said is we have the grades, we are the ones that are doing the overrides. So once it is that you would have gotten the override for a course for pre-calculus, it means that you are clear for FCM1 and FCM2. If you have requested an override and have not yet gotten, well, it depends on when you do the override, because if you do the override, no, it's not automatic, right? It takes some time for us to go and check the system and check the grade sheets. So if you have done your override, if you have done your prerequisite override from last week, I know Mrs. Hall Francis has gone through those overrides. If you have not yet gotten your override request, or if it was denied, then you know that you're in problems. Right, Cheryl? So I'm not stringing you along, my love. I have no intentions of stringing students along. Are you clear? Ms. Brackett, are you clear? Okay. Let's continue. So Jareen, it's not that the final sinks your average sometimes, you know. The one of the things that I find is that students don't do very well on the exam. Students don't do well on the exams. And you must strive, all of you, to pass the exams. When I peruse the grades, as my portfolio calls me to, and I'm looking at and reviewing your grades, too many students are getting C's. And you know why you're getting C's? Because you're getting 70s and 80s and 90s for your coursework grade. And then you're going into the exam and getting 35 and 40 out of, not even 40 sometimes, 35 to 40, I would say, out of 80 for the exam. But because you have a good coursework piece, it pushes you to a C minus. So in order for you not to sink it, you have to pass the exam. You have to pass the exam. The course is a 60-40. So your exam grade is 60% of the final grade. Your coursework grade is only 40%. It's only 40%. So the onus is upon you. You have to pass the exam. Once you pass that exam, you automatically pass the course. Once it is, of course, you do the coursework pieces, right? So, but let me just address something here, because what I don't want a misconception to be brewing in based on what it is that I thank you, Sue Dane, for initiating the WhatsApp group. Very responsible. Appreciate it. You and I will be in contact soon. Let me just reiterate a point earlier, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. There is no, the department, Mr. Shand, has no intentions of, and if you know me well, I have no intentions of holding back in the students. We don't want to string you out. That's not our aim. As I said before, we have seen the prerequisite requests. The grades are not yet out, but there are students in the class who have received their override to give them the nod to go ahead and do pre-calculus. It means that what we did, we checked on your foundation 1 grade, and we checked the grade sheets that we have at hand to see that you've passed both of them. Once it is that you pass 1 and 2, we're going to give you the override for pre-calculus. So I'm saying to you, if it is that you have not received, if you have not yet received your prerequisite override, it means that you may be in trouble. If you got a message from us to say your request has been denied, you definitely are in trouble. Because it means denied, it means that you failed one or two, right? Absolutely, Abigail. So if you passed 1, you failed 2, but you passed 3, you must still have to go and do 2. And let me show you why. Remember what I did earlier with the outline? The outline says what am I looking at? Come on now. The outline says this course builds on the foundation. So once it is that you're going to do in pre-calculus, calculus, and applied sciences, this course builds on the foundation developed from successfully completing 1, 2, and 3, right? And so you must pass it. So there are students who have passed 2 of the courses, went ahead and did pre-calculus, passed a pre-calculus, and because Foundation 3 is really a summer offering for us, are now back with us. So I'm suspecting that there are some year 2 students. You are not all year 1 students. I may have some year 2 students here because Foundation Concept 3 is only offered at this time, right? Let me pause here Are there any other questions before I continue? Okay. Now, let me just pause and get into the whole teaching and learning component of it. It is important. Okay, thank you, Africa. Hey, I met somebody who is Africa recently. There's a strong correlation for students participating in a class, especially a maths class, and those students will pass the exam. What am I talking about? There are some students who will sit down in class and don't unmute their mic. I don't know how to sound from the start of the semester until the end of the semester. And then you expect to pass a course. And I'm going to say to you, it's going to be very difficult for you to pass a course. Why, sir? Thanks for asking. Sometimes you will sit on your misconceptions and you're not verbalizing your misconceptions for me to say, no, Burger King is better than Wendy's. But you may say Wendy's is better than Burger King when in fact it's the other way around. And you hold on to your misconception and then you go into the exam and still give me the wrong misconception because you're not verbalizing what it is that you know, so I can know what is happening. It's not, remember, it's online. So I'm not able to see what it is that you're writing and to correct you on the spot. I have to depend on you for you unmuting and having that conversation with me, right? It's very, very important, right? Because there is no way I can be teaching and just talking and not getting a question. At some point in time, I'm going to stop talking. And I'm sure if when I ask a question and nobody answers, but I continue to teach and then somebody says, sir, can you re-explain that for me, please? And then I ignore you. You're going to say the teacher has no manners. You don't like the teacher because the teacher teaching and you're asking a question and the teacher is ignoring you. But you don't remember when the teacher there asked you the question and you were ignoring the teacher, right? So which is what I speak about. The netiquette of online teaching and learning has to be improved. It's a symbiotic relationship. I give and you give. As I speak about giving, one of the things that you must know about Mr. Shandy is I will first give you respect. No. If you step across that borderline, I will go from 0 to 100 in a millisecond. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're uptown, middletown, or downtown. None of those things matter. What matters is the self-respect, the respect that you have for yourself, and in return, the respect that you have for others. This is a tertiary institution, and I will be the one who will give you respect. I am going to give you the respect. I'm telling you, you will get the respect from me. It's one of my commitments. It's one of my mantras as a teacher. I will give you the respect. Now, the meager thing that I'm asking you for is the respect in return. Is the respect in return. All right? It's a fun course. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to, yeah, man, Palomi, I am, this is who you have. What you're hearing online is who you're going to see in person. I'm a straightforward person. Not that it's kind of strange when I talk about straightforward because some people say that, oh, me speak my mind. Kind of dangerous. I don't speak my mind to hurt others, but I speak the truth, and sometimes students don't like the truth, and it puts us into problems. Well, I know most of you here are grown and are working, and you will have rules at your place of work. Whatever rule it is that you have to, for example, you work at a tax office, you can't get your fitness if your insurance is out. But sometimes students will come and make unorthodox requests of you as a class teacher, when in truth and in fact you can't do it. And the students will cuss you out and tell you, oh, you wicked, oh, you wicked, oh, you wicked. And then no, when you go for them place of work now and say, geez, hey, my student, how you do? So me now my insurance on the car, you can't sort out something for me. No, sir, we can't because the supervisor now going to approve it. So how you want me break my rules as a teacher, but you now go break your rules as somebody in your workplace, right? So I'm saying if the rules are there to be adhered to. It is going to be adhered to. I soon come to you, Kimberly, on that one. I can't talk to you about that one just yet, but remind me at the next set, the next class, please. Right? So, the rules are the rules, and we just have to adhere to those rules. All right? But do me a favor. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to read through the outline. It's very important. Very, very important. Just read through the outline and then we'll come back with a conversation. All right? Thank you. All right, guys. I trust that you were able to look at the outline. Are there any questions relating to the outline?
Not really, sir. It was pretty straightforward, honestly.
Nice. Happy for that.
Sir,
Yes, please. Go ahead. Somebody said, sir, go ahead. Whoa, 39 students. Jesus, Father. No, it's not 39 because Abby is there twice. And so is I saw the name earlier. Or maybe the person logged off from one device. Okay, so it's 38. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. I think it is. Nashika, do me a favor, please. I need your full name first and last. So can you rename yourself for me, please? And thanks. It's for the purposes of the register. Go ahead, please. Okay, it's not a question, it's a chat. Okay. All right. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so as I said before, for those of you who are just coming in, I had a prior commitment for this evening, but I know I have a responsibility. Instead of calling the session off, I'm actually now officially late for that function, but I know I have a responsibility to being with you. So I have another little exercise for you. It's just a little motivation because I know without even you telling me that there are some students here who don't like the mathematics, and math has always abused you. And you come to college now and you have to face this thing called mathematics. And I'm going to say to you, Sanjay, come up with something and leave me alone, son. No, Henderson, you too. You and Scott, come up. Sure.
True.
And I know you guys, some of you are afraid of the mathematics. And I'm going to say to you, please don't be afraid of the math. If you don't give me your 100%, it's not going to happen. And once you give me your 100%, it will happen. I've invited someone here, and I'll introduce a person to you in a few. At the start of the session, I referenced the individual, but it's important for me to talk to you about what is going to happen. But I'm not going to invite the person just yet. But just to say to you, Shirkwan, if you're afraid of the math is going to conquer you. I'm going to ask you, please, turn up, ask me your questions. Make me tell you, say, yo, you're asking too much questions, and you'll never hear that from me. You'll never hear that from me, all right? So with us for tonight is one such student. Very nice student. I only met last summer, but a student who became frustrated because the student failed Foundation Concept 1, student went to Foundation Concept 2, and failed Foundation Concept 2. And the student turned up for Foundation Concept 3, wondering, what on earth am I doing here? There is no hope for me. Just as I'm talking to you, I spoke with the class, and the student worked. The student worked. The student worked. So much so that the student was able to pass the Foundation Concept 3. There was a glimmer of hope for that student. The encouragement started to grow. The student then was told, yo, you have to go over the Foundation 1 and 2 now, And the student was, but sir, I said, you can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the student went and did Foundation 1 in the first semester of this academic school year and received an A. Student then returned last semester and redid the foundation concept 2 and got an A. Guess what? I remember the student shared with us, Mrs. Hall Francis and myself, that when she was supposed to be registered to do the statistics for social sciences, somebody was blocking the progress. And I got a telephone call and I gave the override for the student to do the statistics for social sciences. I said the student can manage. The student can manage. And students, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that the student did the statistics for social sciences and passed pretty well. I invited the student just now to come and encourage some of you because I know some of you are very distraught, don't want to have nothing to do with math. But I'm going to give her maybe 10 or 15 minutes just to talk to you guys, to encourage you. No, I don't want anybody to say, I don't want to hear what this person wants to say because it may save you. You know who you are and you know the struggles that you've been having. So at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to invite Miss Abigail McCoy to unmute and to go ahead and talk to you guys. I'm going to be muting and listening as well. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Abike McCoy. I'm a bit nervous because Sir took me off guard, but I decided that I had to come and speak with you guys because we're all in this together. Whether we're year 1, 2, or 3, we're all in this together, and therefore we have to encourage each other and try to motivate each other. So, um, my story is a bit sad, but I've gotten to a point where I can comfortably speak of some of what I've been through up to date. So please bear with me. So I started the college in 2023 and I had applied for SPIM, that's Security Protection and Investigation Management. So I was on the School of Business. You guys hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So I was on the School of Business. I was doing all my courses. You know, I was a newbie, didn't understand everything. I would ask questions and sometimes I would have gotten answers, another time I would not have gotten answers. So I just played by the rules and followed the timetables that were sent to me and all. I did first semester, second semester, third semester. And I think when I had gotten to 3 days before my 4 final exams to complete year 1, right there and then, I found out that all the courses that I have completed had nothing to do with the area that I had applied for. And I was now faced with my 4 final exams to complete year 1. So just know now how much I was devastated. I cried, I seek answers, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I had to seek legal advice and all, and then I was told to do the exams. So I was crying and saying, why should I do the exams? And it has nothing to do with my area of study. They told me that do the exams, you had already prepared for them and all. When I went in the exam, the first exam, it was Introduction to Psychology. And remember now, that has to do with like our mental capacity. I remember vividly telling the invigilator that she should take up the paper from my desk because I was not able to do that exam because miss, me now go pass up my mind blank. And it's as if she was my mother. She literally said to me, you know, come out of the exam room, you know. You go sit down and you go do the exam. And I was like, Miss, you wouldn't understand. I cannot do the exam. She said, well, you're going to do it. So, cut a long story short, I obeyed her and I sat in there. So, you know, after a certain period of time, if you have completed the exam, you could leave. So me feel nice now, you know, I say, all right, me I go come out. Me call her now, me feel good, so me I go come out of the exam. The lady look and say, how you think I go? Sit down, all right. So when she said that, I was like, you know, say, come let them set the woman up on me. I was not able to leave the exam room. And I had to sit and do that exam. And I did all 4 exams. And to my surprise, when I was at my lowest point and the results came back, I was successful with all 4 exams. But I had failed FCM1 and I had failed FCM2. And as Sir have stated previously, I met him and he was the one that allowed me to pass FCM3. No, mark me, I know nothing about maths. And I remember getting about 7% in the maths. Not in Sir maths, like in FCM1 and 2. Was Mr. Shand annoying? Yes. He was so annoying. You're going to do the maths, you're going to pass the maths and all. Sometimes I did just get frustrated and I say, me can't bother with that man name in my skin. But at the end of it all, it was something good. So yes, Sir tried with me and I did all that I should do and I was successful with SCM3. So that was the first piece of math out of the 3 parts that I was successful with. No, they were teaching me business administration. I had no interest in that. You know the sad part of it? The 2 options. You are going to either continue with business administration or you will have to switch to something different. No, right there and then, you realize what's happening? Who can tell me what's happening right there? Anyone, just tell me what you think had happened right there. Hello?
Yeah.
Get
You went back.
more
Yeah, what?
frustrated and or you switch to your original choice.
I maybe God tell you to continue.
Pardon?
Where you stayed and did the business.
Okay, all right. Thanks for all your inputs, but the sad part of it, I did not stay and continue because I had absolutely no interest in business administration whatsoever. So you know what? September coming, I should be going into year 3, and that's not the case. I had to start over from scratch and switch and went over to social work. With everything that was happening, you know, I had to start over. So when I was getting comfortable to say, yes, thank you, Jesus, at least me I complete year 1, right there and then I started year 1 again. How depressing that was. And I had to start over. And I had to pay to redo both FCM1 and FCM2. And I had even gotten a written document stating that I would have to get both FCM1 and 2 by next month, July 2025. And luckily, Mr. Shand put me on to Mrs. R. Francis. I knew nothing about her. She's an excellent lecturer as well. And I don't know. Sometimes things would happen, and we're all human beings, and we always question, Lord God, why me? Why you put me through this? And nothing is wrong with it. We asking him questions, but sometimes we have to just believe and trust the process. Because don't get me wrong, I was doing my best over there, But ever since I came into social work, it seems as if a different light is shining down on me. I was now able to speak comfortably in the maths classes. I found myself understanding things that I knew nothing about. And when I went in the exam, I was so confident. I told myself, yes, I need to do this and I am going to do this. I did all my work. I worked sometime. I was at work, fall asleep in the classes, work 6 days per week, have classes 6 days per week. I don't know how I do it, but me say no, me have to do this. I have to do this. And when I did FCM1, surprisingly, I got an A. So I was like, really? And you know that Mr. Shand was very impressed, knowing what I had been through and where I was coming from. And then he said, Habs, go for the FCM2 now. And I went on to FCM2 and I got another A. And I was like, really, me when I know maths? And just as he said, when I was to do the statistics, I was getting some form of blockage because they were saying I was not able to do it because I would be doing like FCM2 and the statistics all at once. And I told myself, I've got this. I am going to do it. I am not going to sit and wait until next year. I am going to try it. And I did both maths and I was successful with both of them. I didn't get the A in the statistics as I wanted, but I passed with good grades. So I am here as a testament to tell you guys that all things are possible with God, and for every setback, there is a comeback. And for every disappointment, there is an appointment. We are all human beings. We are all going to feel depressed. We're all going to feel down. But we have to find someone or something to give us the energy and the motivation to keep fighting. And if we put our minds to it and we work assiduously, we can achieve and we will achieve. So if I can do it with a 7% coming from a 7% to a A, you guys can do it. I recognize Miss Clovine Grant in this group, Monique Maxwell. Yes.
Okay, and thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome. So just put your mind to it because if I can do it, you guys can do it as well. And I've gotten to a point where I don't think they can throw any mats at me and I'm going to run now. I will more likely run to the mats and hug it up and say, come here and you're going to wrestle this out. We're going to buckle it out because guess what? You're not going to win me. So just fight. And once you put your mind to it, you can achieve. So these are my few words of encouragement to you guys. And thanks for your time.
Thanks, Abby. Thank you for taking the time to share.
You're welcome. Mr.
Thank
Shand,
you.
you're
Thank you,
Thank you.
welcome.
Abby. She, did Abby say that Mr. Shan was annoying? Don't believe her here. But it's true. Sir Shan get very miserable when Sir Shan knows that you have the potential. You may not see the potential in you. And what Abby don't tell you, there are some Friday evenings like, no, you ever having a class. Abby in her bed under a sheet. I mean, I have to tell Abby, come out of your bed and come sit up and do the stuff. And I'm really so very proud of Abby. And Abby is one of those success stories that I'll always speak about, student I'll always speak about and always make reference to.
sir, I'm not sure if it's my internet or what, but we're not hearing you.
That sound like his internet, not yours or any of us.
All right, sorry guys. I did tell you that I have a function, so I'm actually in commute, and I think this is why you're not hearing me. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right, so I won't be. I'm just maybe about 5 more minutes. So I'm just saying to you, please be encouraged. Now, one of the things that Abby didn't tell you, are you still hearing me?
Yes, sir.
One of the things that Abby didn't tell you is that some of her classmates weren't always very helpful in assisting, if she had a problem, so forth and so on. And one of the things that she has committed herself to doing is, and for those of you who were in class with her for Foundation Concept 1, you know that if you called upon her for assistance, she would have helped. You know why? Because you've said that she recognized that when she was there and needed the help, nobody was there to assist her. So she has committed herself to be assisting each other. Now, one of the things I want to tell you, Excelsior Community College has enough paper to print your Associate of Science degree on it. Don't be selfish. I'm not going to tell you to do the work for the person, but if you can assist, please assist. If you can assist someone, if you understand something and somebody else don't understand it, go ahead and assist. It only makes it easier for not only you, but for the other person. Hold on 1 second, please. So students, I'm gonna take my leave here with you. You have your outline. And I'm going to take my leave of absence, but this is what I want you to do. And this is going to be the start of you becoming the scholar that I know you all are. I want you to take your outline and I want you to go ahead and start looking at areas that you can use to start the whole self-preparation. I want you to look at areas for you to start your own self-preparation. What do I mean by self-preparation? You're going to take your outline and you're going to go through the stuff. You're going to go through the stuff. If there's someone here that has been in a session with me before with that WhatsApp group, I'm going to ask that you share the, we'll call it now, my YouTube channel. And in the YouTube channel, you'll find courses of Foundation Concept 3 that I have taught in the past. Look at those.
Sir, can you just say the name so I can just look it up also?
It's a link that we normally have. Oh goodness. Anybody in here has done a course with me before? That you can just quickly share that link with them for me, please. I don't have it. Wow. It's all right. Oh, yes, Romain. Yes, Romain, thanks. Can you assist me, Romain? I forgot that you were here. Romain, you found it?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you join the WhatsApp group, Romain?
I'm different. No.
Well, we just created one just now. Susu just created one for me.
Yes.
Can you just put it in the?
I do that, then I'll send the link.
Say that again, Romain. Romain, you're saying something? Oh, sorry. Thanks, Abby. Appreciate it. All right. So students, so I'm going to ask you to, you can look on you see many courses inside of it. You can just scroll to summer 2024 and just look at it. You can fast forward to just look at the content and start your own preparation. I promise you, if you stick with it, you'll all be successful in this course. I really am looking forward to be working with you. And next week's Friday will be a much better time. It's just that I had this pre-planned event and I decided I'm actually late for the event, but it is important for me to be in with you and to do the introduction. Very important for me to invite one of my past students to come and encourage you. And thank you for those who turned up tonight. Those of your other classmates who are supposed to be here but are not here, please send them the link and let them go ahead and select the courses. If you are not on my list come next class, you can't come into the class. You have to select the course, please, students. Please and thanks. If there are no more questions for me, I will take my leave of absence. Are there any questions?
Back in Wi-Fi zone. But as I said, sir, as soon as I join the WhatsApp group in a moment, then I'll send the link for everybody.
Appreciate it. Nice.
Hi, sir.
Hello, dearest.
Hi, good evening. I'm Kimberly Collier. I heard you mentioned about if you don't get FCM2, you can't, or you're not allowed in the class. But I'm asking you for exemption for me because I did math the past 15 years. So my brain is kind of seized up. So now and then, or 1 and 2 times, you see me coming to the class to just catch up back on a little. All right?
Sorry, you said no, and again you'll come into the class. No, you have to come class every night.
Well, that's fine with me, but I'm just asking.
But no. Hold on. So you got something wrong. I didn't say if you didn't. Okay, so if you didn't pass foundation 1 or foundation 2, you can still do the foundation 3. I will not ask you to leave.
Okay.
All right. So you can stay there, but don't come 1 or 2 times, miss. That time they're gonna kick you out. You have to come every time.
All right, no problem.
Let me just finalize it right here now. Those of you who are doing business, social work, Selby are supposed to be here. If you're doing tourism, the tourism students don't do foundation concept 3. So if you're a tourism student, you're not supposed to be here. If you are a library student, you're not supposed to be here either.
So
right?
what about MIS students?
Yeah, after there. Because
Okay.
we got after calculus 1 and calculus 2. So
Okay,
yeah, after
sir.
there. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you next.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye.